Hey guys, this is Grandmaster Griffin here. I did an earlier Periscope, but I didn't have the light on because I was driving. Talking about how to find your inner deal. What the heck is an inner deal and why you need to find it? Inner deal is a term that I coined years ago from teaching martial arts. I'm an 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I found by teaching different students the same techniques, they learn it different and apply it different, execute it different. I'm like, why can't they do it the same? But it comes down to the personality. What the heck does that mean? Driver personalities is what the letter D stands for. Expressive for the letter E, amiable for the letter A, and L for the logical. So those four, driver, expressive, amiable, logical, are personality types before they even take martial arts or dance or swimming or whatever. And it's your emotional intelligence, I'm going to call it EQ, emotional intelligence, and learning how you learn dictates to the level of success you learn. Drivers are very kinesthetic learners. They have to touch it, they have to feel it, they have to get their hand on it. They love force, they love power, they love energy, containment, and control. Expressives, they're about the visual. Do I look good? Do I dress good? Girl, you be looking fine. Expressives are the divas. Expressives are the Mivas, the male divas. They're the slam dunk champions. They're the ones that love the center of attention. Me, watch me. They're the player on the team that will do something, like when they score a touchdown, to celebrate. They want to show up. The driver, just toss the ball to the referee, or maybe he might spike it. But the expressive, for the older people, the ones over 45, Billy White Shoes Johnson, NFL player. I think he played for the Houston Oilers. I'm dating myself. And when he would get in the end zone, he had all kinds of fancy dances and celebration and gyrations and whatever. So expressives love to have people watch them. They love to be the center of attention. However, when they mess up, they're the first ones to cry. They're the first ones to blow up. They don't want no attention. They're kind of like, as long as I'm doing good, watch me. If I'm doing bad, don't watch me. Don't talk about me. They're very thin-skinned. Hey, 11111156889. Thanks for joining the Periscope. Hit me up some hearts. And we're talking about the inner deal personality. Driver personality, expressive personality, amiable personality, and logical personality. How do you find your own? The way I find it is what is easiest for you to do is what you are. What is hardest for you is usually the opposite. Let me set it up. Drivers love straight lines. They love directness. They love getting to the point. Expressives, they love a story. They love getting around different points. Amiables like to be told stories. They will like to be part of a group of storytellers. Logicals, they like tangents. They like angles. Logicals like predictability. They like plans. They like recipes with actual measurements, actual weights. Expressives aren't going to freestyle and just be totally creative. They're more like the accountant, the bookkeeper. They're more scientific. They're more theoretical in approach. Amiables are more reactive. They're more partner drill based. You throw a punch, I block it. You throw a kick, I block and punch. So they need another person there, but they can recognize things in another person quicker. They can anticipate things. Amiables are very good counter fighters. They'll learn all the techniques and then learn the blocks and then learn to recognize your tell. Like if people out there that play poker, everybody has a tell. They get a great hand in poker. They might scratch, so they know how to bet. Hey, CFK20166, thanks for joining. Hit me up with some hearts. Oops, sorry. I don't know how to work this thing. Yeah, thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the hearts. I shouldn't tap it while I'm saying that because that flipped the camera around. Amiable personalities are counterfighters like Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee. Very passive, but very thoughtful. So if somebody does attack, they know how to counter them. Drivers, they love to go first. They love to hit straight ahead. So when trying to figure out how do I view the election, I view the election as smoke and mirrors, cloak and daggers. I mean, Trump and Hillary were buddies, years ago, because money is attractive to other money people, and so they used to hang out and party and stuff. So, they're cutting hairs. As far as them two getting along / not getting along, I view the election as I need to be number 5, neutral. I need to be neutral because I have clients that I'm sure are Democrats, some clients that are Republicans. I don't like to mix politics and business. But the issues of people on my level are real important to me, versus a lot of policy. And politicians need to be like the NASCAR race car drivers. They need to put their stickers on their uniforms, dresses, suits, of who gives them money. So when they're saying one thing, and hey, how you doing, Frank77? If the politicians are saying one thing, but I see a Hormel or Microsoft thing on their jacket that, hey, they've gotten some money from Microsoft, so they may not be pro-Apple. If all the politicians' money that they've gotten, in the dollar amounts, and they had a logo on what they're wearing, then you would know that they're not speaking out their behind, that they're actually making sense. But so many times, they're not really held accountable from speech to speech to speech. Hey, Frank, thanks for joining. We're talking about the inner deal. Donald Trump is an expressive. He likes to be the center of attention. Hillary is more of a logical, where she thinks through things a lot more. They both are extremely wealthy and extremely successful. But just because you're wealthy doesn't mean you are qualified to run the country. Or just because you were married to the president who used to run the country, so to speak, doesn't make you qualified. So, I don't know. Everybody's got their opinion. Certain demographics are going to be challenged and pushed. So I think everybody needs to not be distracted, and they need to focus in on how can they make themselves better and their legacy better. Whether it's in sales or in marketing or business, what are you leaving your children? What kind of landscape are you creating for your life after you leave this planet? So a lot of people worried about $15 an hour jobs. I just signed a piece of paper. Yeah, I think it's good to have $15 an hour jobs. However, it's going to take years to get to that. 2, the company has to be big enough. 3, you're going to have to be doing so many hours at so many, so not everybody's going to get $15 an hour. Here's the other scary thought for those that are at $9 or $7, $8. When they get the $15 an hour jobs, they might eliminate your job and put a robot there. They might eliminate your job and get a kiosk. They might eliminate your next 2 levels between your $7 or $8, $9 an hour job to the 20-hour job because they've eliminated so many people they don't need you. Like the checkout lines at the grocery stores, self-service. You got to put the stuff in the cart. Now you got to bag it up and you got to ring it up. You're your own cashier. So there'll probably be less people working in the store and expect you to do more of the work your damn self. However, going back to, that was a tangent, so shiny ball, I kind of went off. Inner deal, if I'm a driver, I have to get face to face. I got to get up close and personal with people and meet them eye to eye and get direct information, give direct information. If I'm an expressive, I like for them to see me and I like for them to be impressed by me. So I need to also be on point, but I also need to bring some hype, bring some attitude, bring some moxie. That's what expressives do. Think of this for those that understand basketball. Not that I do, but your home team, high school, college, junior college, semi-pro, professional, ladies, or not so much the ladies, but hey, Somali madam, thanks for joining. If you're watching a slam dunk within your game and the team that is the home team, they have a bench player who rarely gets to play, he gets a slam dunk, oh, the crowd's going to go what, crazy. Oh! When you take your star player and he slam dunks at home, it's like, yeah, but you expect that. When you take that star player and put him on the road, hey, Taurus 1981, thanks for joining. We're talking about, hey, Sinfin, how you doing? The slam dunk on the road will silence the other crowd. The topic is using your inner deal to find yourself. What does that mean? Your personality: driver, expressive, amiable, logical. There's 4 major personalities in my little mind that I teach in the martial arts. Emotional martial arts. The 4 personalities are driver. They love to go straight ahead with power. Straight line power. Bread and butter, 2 or 3 techniques in terms of fighting. In terms of learning, they are very kinesthetic learners. They have to touch things like the pads, the focus mitts. They learn intelligently by touching. Hey, James, how you doing? Thanks for joining. When I'm an instructor, 8th degree black belt, been teaching martial arts since 1977 maybe? Yeah, 77, 78. And I didn't develop this overnight, but when I started to learn how people couldn't block or couldn't do this, and why? They learned it in class. They did it when we did the drill. Their personality would not allow them to block because the driver doesn't believe in defense. They're too busy hitting somebody to worry about defense. They're not good at reacting. They're good at laying out the law, laying out the leather. So they will just blitz everybody with their power. The expressive personality is high energy. They like the Bruce Lee noises. They like to play karate. They'll act a fool. They'll do the jump kicks, spin kicks. When they see it, oh, I got to do that. Me. They like to do the nunchucks. Ooh, because that's catching of the eye. Visual learning is best done by they'll see it and they can copy it and they're good to go. They will get the information about balance and percentages and body weight later, maybe. But if you have an excellent image, they can do well with that. Amiables are team players, role players. They're good at reactionary things. So if you throw a punch and they can block it quicker and better than anybody else, because when you throw a punch, they might see the shoulder move first. They might see the lip bite first. They might see the blink or whatever. Hey, Perry, how you doing? We're talking about the inner deal, emotional martial arts. Amiable fighters are going to trigger off of the initial 10% of the movement, figure out what you're doing, block and counter you. Now, the default or the bad part about that is when somebody throws a lot of fakes, amiables aren't very good because they can't really adjust in the middle as well as they want to. So amiables, Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, fighters like that were very good at blocking and countering in real life. Logical fighters, Chuck Norris is also logical, would work on combinations, would work on scenarios, would work on, okay, I got to fight these 5 people this coming season. Here's what they love to do. Here's what they can't do. Here's how I need to beat them. You have to ask. What do you have to ask? Perry, what do you need to ask me? Go ahead and ask me. Astrology, I think it's real. Yeah, you can go back 8,000, 10,000 years ago, and I do believe it's real. Hey, how you doing, Style? This is Grandmaster Griffin of Griffin Martial Arts talking about inner deal, or what I like to call emotional martial arts. Everybody's got a personality, and certain personalities learn better by doing certain things. Driver, expressive, amiable, logical. Driver personalities love kinesthetics. Touch, feel, lift, heavy, force. Expressives, color, visual, music. They love to be in rhythm. They know when people are out of rhythm because they can feel that. They can get a vibe better with certain people. Amiables are good team players, role players. They work well in groups. They don't like to be the head of the group, but they'll be part of the group. They'll be your core workers. They'll be there supporting everybody else. Logicals, they will be like the accountants. They'll be like Mr. Spock in Star Trek. The logicals will have a game plan. They'll have a plan B, a plan C. You find out what your inner deal is by what you love to do or the opposite of what you hate to do. If you learn best, let's say you're taking a new task, let's say, and it's a musical instrument, and you can hear it, and my mom was a Gemini, my wife's a Gemini, so, and usually the Geminis are very good at hearing something and then being able to replay it. Hear a song and get the words right, get the melody right, get the parts, whether it's soprano, alto, correct, or whatever. So expressives aren't good at reading sheet music, but But if they hear it a couple times, they got it. Whether it's piano or an instrument, if they hear it, because I had a couple students when I was teaching in Minneapolis, and I'm over in St. Paul now, and he was a bass player, and I said, how do you play bass? You read sheet? Oh, I don't read sheet music. What? You don't? How you? And it's like he had a group, and he's going to be old school. They would give him a cassette tape. He would put it in, hit play, listen to it 3 times. Oh, I'm a Libra, born in October. And we're the only non-critter of all the 12 astrological signs. Everything else got a heart and a pulse and eyeballs, and we're just scales. Anyway, he would listen to it 2 or 3 times, hear the bass line, he's ready to go. And I'm like, what? And he'd been doing that, and that's his full-time gig, So expressives do that. Logicals, if it ain't written down on the sheet music, they ain't playing it. They're not going to come to a music gathering and be a spectator and someone calls them out. Hey, Keith, come on up. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you remember that number we did last year at such and such? He's going to say, do you have the sheet music? And they're going to look, no, we ain't got no sheet music. Yeah, they don't feel comfortable like that. None of them are the best. It's just everybody's born into one of them. So it's how you view yourself and how you go through life. Expressives are always high energy. They're out there. If you're if you're a child and you don't like to read, and maybe you have a learning challenge like dyslexia, things like that. And there have been a lot of famous people, CEOs of companies, musicians, art writers who were dyslexic, and they learned to work around their learning challenge, I like to say problem, and become very, very successful because of that. So I don't like to say one is better than the other. I think it's how you identify yourself and how you can take yourself to the next level. Let's say, for example, you I don't know what a Scorpio can do or what they or can't do. But okay, I'm a Libra. I like supposedly to balance things out. So, but the problem is if I go to the left 5 miles, I got to go to the right 5 miles. Or if I go 4 inches to the right, I got to balance it out with 4 inches to the left. So there's a lot of leeway with that balance thing. My wife is a Gemini. We get along. My mom was a Gemini before she passed, for her whole entire life, and they got along really, really well. So I don't like to say one's better than the other. It's just you got to have balance in life. I do notice that more Libras are friends with Libras and Geminis. And I notice certain astrological signs, and I really haven't studied it, get along with the same signs, or some signs, Taurus and Bull, they don't get along with nobody who's a Taurus or Bull. Hence, drivers recognize other drivers, but my way is the highway, your way is your old damn way. Hey, how you doing, 12,000? We're talking about emotional martial arts, or what I call the inner deal, how to find your personality. And I used to do this when I went and did corporate trainings. It's going to sound weird. We do cardio kickboxing, and then we'd have foam bats. Like you see on the Bob Newhart show, you got these, I made them PVC with foam noodles for $1 from the dollar store, and they wear headgear so they wouldn't hurt themselves, and I would have them fight, and try to score a point lightly to the body, and that's one way to, not that you're going to fight right now, but in terms of watching how people fight, we did it 2 ways, or minimum 2 ways. First way, they'd bow, touch bats, and I would not score the points, and I would just, okay, go ahead and have fun. And the expressives were dancing around. Hey, Sly Cooper, how you doing? And with the bats, they're fine, having fun, hitting around, dancing, grooving around. And I could determine the personalities after a couple rounds without knowing anything about them. And then the first round is just freestyle. Second round, I'm calling points. So if they hit to the head, the 1 point, hit to the arm, 1 point, and they don't hit the referee. So I'm calling points, and I might say first to 5 wins, or 30 seconds total score. And Another way I might do, this works really well in some of the schools I taught, some of the elementary schools. I'll take a small girl. Girls are usually smarter than boys. So I'll take like a second grader and have her go against a fourth and a fifth grade boy. I'll give her 2 bats, give 1 bat to each of the boys. 9 times out of 10, the girl usually beats the boys. It's funny as heck to me because this little girl's like, "Why are you picking me? Why I gotta fight too?" And then one of the boys like, "That's not fair, Master Griffin. That ain't fair." It'll be all right. And she usually beats him because girls are smart. They pay attention. They're able to analyze the situation. They're not braggadocious, and they're just trying to be successful. Boys are bragging about it, and they get beat. So to find your personality, I've always found if you like to have hands-on a lot and like to touch and get force and get power, and you don't like that fancy crap, and let's just get to the point, you're probably a driver personality. Opposite of that's amiable. If you think, well, what if somebody attacks me? How do I beat them? How do I defend myself? Or can we do it as a group? Can we do it as a team? You're probably amiable. You're good at reacting. You're good at anticipating. If you're a person that loves to go shopping and you have your list before you leave the house and you have a little box and you have 22 things on the list. You see something that ain't on the list like, oh, I like these sunglasses. Here's what you do. You set the sunglasses down. You pull out your pen. You write down sunglasses. Put a box. Put them in your cart. Check it off. Now you have 23 items. Logicals love lists. They shop that way. Oh, man. This thing is on sale. The cassette tapes are on sale. You put it down, write down cassette tapes, check it off, throw it in your cart. Expressive shoppers will see, oh man, at the checkout line, they got all that impulse items. That's for the expressives. Oh, I need a clip like this. Or, you know what? I need to get a screwdriver, so I'm going to go get that right now. It ain't on your list. You went to the store to use the bathroom, and you happen to see some stuff and you bought it. That's how expressives roll. Think about it like this. Do you go shopping for groceries when you're hungry? Statistically, that's the worst time to go shopping because you're going to overbuy and buy stuff that you're hungry about. Logicals will have a list for the week. Monday is Meatloaf Monday. Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. Wednesday is, Wisconsin Cheese Day. I don't know, macaroni and cheese. Thursday is Throwback Steak Day, whatever. So they'll have the patterns. If you're logical, you're going to not only have the meal planned out, you're going to have the coupons, you're going to have the store planned out, you're going to have the budgeted down to what time you're going to go shopping and get the damn food, okay? Drivers are like, I'm hungry, let's go get some food. Expressives like, I remember this commercial. Da-da-da-da-da. That's McDonald's. That's a 1-second commercial that sticks in people's head. 5 notes. Da-da-da-da-da. 5 notes, 1 second. Most people know it's McDonald's. Expressives will be caught up in the hype. Amiables will be like, sure, let's go get something to eat. Whatever you guys want to eat. That's fine by me. Logicals will say, Joe, you picked it out on Monday, and Sam, you picked it on Tuesday. Bart, it's your turn on Wednesday. So logicals will not only have a list of stuff, they'll have a list of who's accountable for it. They're the ones at the church get-togethers that'll have the list of so-and-so is going to bring the salad, so-and-so is going to bring the soup, so-and-so and so-and-so are bringing the main dishes, so-and-so is bringing the dessert, so-and-so is bringing the coffee. They'll itemize it out. They love doing that kind of stuff. Expressives are like, they'll show up half hour late and make sure, hey, the party's going on. They love to be the center of attention. So if you hate being the center of attention, you're probably not an expressive. If you will be at a 10 o'clock meeting at 9:45, you're probably illogical. Or you're probably logical, maybe a driver. If the meeting is posted from 10 to 10:45 and you're an expressive, you might get there 10:30. And even if you're running it, and at 10:50, you might even forget that you're supposed to be done 5 minutes ago. So that's what expressives do. All right, this has been Grandmaster Griffin talking about inner deal personality, how to find yours. First, figure out how you best learn. Do you best learn kinesthetically, touch? Do you learn rhythmically? Do you learn musically? Do you learn visually by just copycatting somebody, or that would be logical. I mean, expressive is kind of like by feel, you know. Amiable would be you take a course, you study, you work on a team, you know, you do a lot of things in groups. Not to be outdone, but logicals will overthink some certain things, so have paralysis by overanalysis. They overthink a lot of stuff, and they don't always get things going because they're still in thought mode. Drivers get things going. Expressives, when things are going, they'll keep it moving. Amiables, they're the ones that are there early. You know, for the 10 o'clock meeting, they're there at 8:30, setting up the chairs, setting up the donuts, setting up whatever. So amiables are good role players. Out of the 12 astrological signs, you know, life is going to give you people from different areas and different levels. I haven't really studied that. You know, I'm a Libra, whatever that means, so I'm supposed to be balanced, patient, whatever. But sometimes I can see that in myself, that I'm too patient, too balanced, and sometimes you just need to screw it. Let's go get it done. So this is Grandmaster Griffin signing off. I will probably be posting some other periscopes on other topics, so hit me up at mastergriffy@yahoo.com, mastrgrify@yahoo.com. Also grandmastergriffin.club for my website. All right, guys, I will see you on the other side.